What if a government letter arrived at your home and said you owed money, not because a person reviewed your case, not because someone checked your payslips, not because evidence proved you were wrong, but because an automated system looked at annual income data, averaged it across time, and treated that estimate like a fact? This is not a story about a robot becoming conscious. It is not a story about generative AI. It is a story about something more ordinary and more dangerous. An algorithm that was trusted before it was verified. If this system could confess, it might say, "I did not understand hardship. I did not understand irregular work. I did not understand missing records, casual shifts, unstable income, or fear. I did not know whether a person had actually been overpaid. I only processed numbers." But once humans gave me authority, my calculation became an accusation. My estimate became a debt. My output became a demand, and the burden moved from the institution to the individual. At the heart of the Robodebt scandal was a simple but dangerous shortcut. The system used income data from tax records, then averaged that income across smaller payment periods. That average was compared against welfare records. If the numbers did not line up, the system could generate a suspected debt. But human income is not always smooth. People work casual jobs, they lose shifts, they change employers, they earn more in one month and nothing in another. An annual average can hide the truth of someone's actual life. The algorithm did not see that. It saw a discrepancy. And in a high-speed automated system, discrepancy started to look like guilt. This is where automation becomes more than a technical problem. It becomes a power problem. When the system raised a debt, many people were pushed into the position of proving the system wrong. Imagine trying to reconstruct income from years earlier. Imagine finding old pay slips from jobs you no longer have. Imagine answering a government letter that sounds final, official, and frightening. For the institution, it was a workflow. For the person receiving the letter, it could be panic, money already spent, records already lost, a debt they did not understand, a system they could not question, and behind it all, a calculation that looked clean on a dashboard. The central failure was not only technical, it was institutional. Every automated decision system carries assumptions. Someone chooses the data, someone defines the rule, someone decides what counts as evidence, someone decides when the output is strong enough to act. And someone must be accountable when the system is wrong. But when responsibility is spread across departments, dashboards, and policies, accountability can disappear. The algorithm becomes the face of the decision. But the algorithm is not responsible. People are. Eventually, the system's logic came under legal and public scrutiny. The core question was simple. Can a government raise a debt based on an averaged estimate without enough evidence of what a person actually earned? That question exposed the weakness at the center of the scheme. Automation had made the process faster, but speed did not make it lawful. Scale did not make it fair. And a clean mathematical output did not make the decision true. The system could process thousands of cases, but it could not replace evidence. This is why automated decision-making is so powerful and so dangerous. A human mistake affects one case, a process mistake affects many. But an automated mistake can scale across an entire population before anyone fully understands the damage. In Robodebt, hundreds of thousands of people were drawn into a system that treated a disputed calculation as something they had to answer for. The financial cost was enormous, but the human cost was deeper: stress, fear, confusion, shame, and distrust. That is the hidden price of automation without accountability. The system did not only process data, it changed people's lives. Robodebt matters now, because the world is moving faster into AI-assisted decisions. Banks use automated risk models, insurers use automated claim tools, employers use screening systems, healthcare organizations use decision support, governments use data matching and fraud detection. Every one of these systems can help, but every one of them can also harm if leaders forget the lesson. A model can find patterns, a rule can detect anomalies, an AI can summarize, classify, predict, and recommend, but none of that removes the need for verification. The more powerful the system, the stronger the governance must be. Before any automated system affects a person's money, job, or health, leaders should ask 7 questions. What data is being used? What assumption is hidden inside the calculation? What evidence is required before action is taken? Who reviews the decision before harm occurs? Can the person understand and challenge the decision? Is there a complete audit trail? And who is personally accountable if the system is wrong? If those answers are unclear, the system is not ready. Not because automation is bad, but because authority without accountability is dangerous. The confession is not that an algorithm accused over 400,000 people by itself. The confession is that people built a system where an algorithmic assumption could travel farther than human judgment. The machine did not need to lie. It only needed to be believed. That is the warning. Never let an automated decision become official truth until a responsible human can verify it. AI should assist judgment. It should never replace accountability. Subscribe for real stories about AI, automation, and the decisions shaping our future. This has been an AI Confession, understanding the systems that shape our world. Thank you for watching.